Stephanie Shaheen, do you endorse Graham Platner? Stephanie Shaheen, do you endorse your fellow Democrat Graham Platner? Do you think that his conduct is acceptable? Do you think that the voters in Maine should pick Graham Platner? Stephanie Shaheen, do you endorse Graham Platner?
I mean, you obviously don't think the president meets that high standard that you're talking about. Does Graham Platner meet that high standard in your view?
Well, I definitely don't think the president meets that standard. He's proven since the day that he was elected to office that he doesn't meet that standard. I think I think that's a fair question. That is what the election in Maine is going to partly be about, and he's going to have to withstand the scrutiny of the people of Maine. That's what our elections are all about.
What's your view?
I'm busy running for governor of Colorado.
I do want to ask you one other key race, and that is Maine, right? And obviously when it comes to the Senate, that's a crucial pickup opportunity, right? It could come down to Maine. And now we've learned that the Democratic candidate, Graham Platner, sent sexually explicit texts to many women who were not his wife. And obviously he's already admitted to having covered up a Nazi-linked tattoo. So, I mean, do you think he's fit? Do you worry about Graham Platner? Are you okay with him because he's a Democrat?
Well, I'm going to wait to learn more about these recent allegations involving his texting other women. Ultimately, though, it's going to be up to Maine voters what they decide, how important or unimportant that is, and how important to focus on the economy, cost of living, and those issues are. But I'm going to wait until I know more about what just came out within the last 24 or 48 hours to really say more about it.
Do you think, considering everything on the line, control of the Senate, that could come down to that race in Maine, is he the right person for Democrats to put forward?
Casey, here's my thought about this. I almost never get involved in primaries outside of Virginia because I think Maine Democrats should pick their candidates, and I don't think national
but we're pretty
figures,
far down on the primary road here.
Well, yeah, there's 3 candidates on the ballot next week, and I am not going to say a word that will tilt it one way or another. Maine Democrats are going to make the decision. Once they make the decision, I may have some things to say about it, but I'm not going to say anything now because Maine Democrats need to pick who they think would be their best representative.
I think we have lost the plot on authenticity. I think Graham Platner is cosplaying working class. He wears it like a Halloween costume, and that has been placed on him by the same people who have run a lot of progressive candidates across the nation. In this pursuit of getting to know the everyman, we keep picking these people who I think show the worst parts of society. If I am to believe that Graham Platner can relate to everyday Americans, then that means I am to believe that everyday Americans are okay with Nazi tattoos because they get them accidentally when they're drunk, or because they served in the military. They have very regressive views on race and on gender. I just cannot accept the fact that to gain the working class, we have to dress up people who show the lowest of our values.
Yeah, I mean, look, there have been a lot of revelations about Graham Platner as this campaign has gone on, from tattoos to sexually explicit texts. But this one might be different. And the reason I say that is, take a look here. Google searches for Graham Platner in Maine up significantly over the past few days. We're talking about up 275% the last 3 days versus the 3-month average. And more than that, more people search for him on Sunday in Maine than at any point that I could find, even given the past revelations about the tattoos as well. So it seems to me that this time may in fact be different, where Mainers' focus on Graham Platner is higher.
This is interesting because people might say, oh, there have been so many scandals, they're inoculated to it. Nothing new to see here. This might indicate otherwise.
This might indicate otherwise. More people searching for him on Sunday than ever before, and the search is way up versus the average.
Okay, how have the prediction markets changed?
Yeah, okay, so one of our first glimpses into how this might affect Platner's electoral fortunes is from the prediction market. So you can see this right here in the Kalshi prediction market. Chance to win the Maine Senate race. Now, of course, there's still that Democratic primary that Graham Platner is heavily favored to win. So we have Dems, Republicans, the likely Republican nominee, of course, being Susan Collins, the incumbent. You go back, May 22nd, what was that, about 10 days ago, Democrats had a 70% chance. That's essentially Platner had a 70% chance of winning the general election. Now that number has fallen. It's fallen rather significantly. Look, he is still the favorite according to the prediction markets, a 59% chance, but you're basically going from about a 7 in 10 shot to about a 6 in 10 shot. This is now a race that if you were projecting it out, I would say would be well within the margin of error. I dare say too close to call, although Platner's still favored. But his chances have gone down significantly, and Collins' chances have gone up significantly.
And part of the reason this number here will make Democrats in Maine nervous, I think, is because of the incumbent Susan Collins, her history. She's been very resilient, despite being seen as vulnerable for decades.
Despite being seen as vulnerable for decades. She was first elected back, I believe, in 1996. But if you look at the last 3 times that she has run, take a look at the polls underestimate Collins in Maine. In 2008, the polls underestimated her by 8 points. 2014, the same thing. The polls underestimated her by 12 points. In 2020, the polls estimated her by 12 points. Oh, my goodness gracious. And she was down about 10 points before any of the revelations came out this weekend, which, according to the past polling errors, she would be well positioned to make it quite the race. And if, in fact, the prediction markets and the Google searches suggest that this race will, in fact, tighten, well, then Graham Platner's lead may very well be lower than the past errors that have, in fact, allowed Susan Collins to win like they did in 2020 when she was trailing the pre-election polling.
It was always going to be difficult for Democrats to take the Senate in this election, but really any path to taking the Senate goes through Maine.
Yeah.
So what are we seeing about the chances of taking the Senate right now?
Yeah, if you take a look, the chance of getting the Senate right now, you go back 2 months ago, it was about a 50-50 split, right? Now Republicans, again, it's close, but Republicans are now slightly favored to take back the Senate, no doubt in part because of what is going on in Maine, which just makes that path, which is already difficult, a little bit more treacherous.
This feels like a Platner tax right now in those overall stances to take the Senate.
What kind of a creeper has been on a decade on a platform like Kick and send a dozen explicit kinds of messages and who knows what else?
Would it be better for Democrats if he was not the candidate here?
All I'm saying, it's like, when I was growing up, if someone had a clear Nazi tattoo on them, you probably could conclude that there's a Nazi sympathizer. How, at some point, are you going to continue to defend that or dismiss that?
Well, as you can see, many of the Democrats not even trying to defend it. I don't want to talk about it. They don't want to get near this. The chicken poops that they are, can't imagine that they won't confront this head on. They're going to keep waiting until it's too late, which good. I hope that is indeed what they do, because I think this is going to blow up even further. Excuse me. Many of you know about the Nazi tattoo, but there is a much deeper story about that tattoo that they're not really talking about. I hear it here and there, but I don't hear it widespread. And I think that's what's got to get talked about even more. Never mind that he felt that abusing a woman wasn't that bad. Never mind that he said a military soldier getting shot, he deserved to die. These are the things they're not talking about that much. Not just these texts. Those texts are one thing. And doing a deed inside of a porta potty, yeah, that's laughable. But this one is really, really serious. That tattoo, in case you're not aware, isn't simply a Nazi tattoo. It is the Naziest of all Nazi tattoos. The tattoo that he has on his chest, that he wore for 20 years, is a tattoo of the regime that actually did things at the concentration camps, if you know what I mean. That was a tattoo just for the worst of the worst. Not just anybody wore that tattoo. The people who walked people into their demise, I'm being very delicate here, that's who they were honoring with that tattoo. And not enough people are talking about that. Not enough people are going, wait a minute, this isn't a swastika. Oh, no, no. He could have stopped there. But he went and got a tattoo that honors the people who put people to death. How the Democrats have gone here is beyond any comprehension. It's so bad that CNN is having to use, now understand who Harry is. Harry is their #1 pollster. He can't even use polls. If you notice, he did that entire segment and it had nothing to do with any poll. He used the prediction markets. You know, Kalshi, what are the other ones? Where people could bet money. That's what he's using, which is not at all accurate. You know, people might put $50 on it because he's a long shot. It has nothing to do with the fact of people in Maine voting for this guy. And so all the other prominent Democrats were just like, yeah, it's not nothing to see here. I love it when they talk to people who are actually in office and hide. That very first piece where the guy was trying to talk and the guy was waving a donut in his face. And she had nothing to say. A woman, are you okay with all this? Couldn't wait to run to her car. Make them be ashamed. Make them have to hide in public. Make them have to answer for this. This one is huge. And I'm not just saying it. I am no fan of Susan Collins. I don't think she is a good candidate. I don't think she's MAGA. And I wish they had somebody there to replace her. But man, you guys have nominated in the entire state a Nazi lover. Then it goes further. You've heard the story that he's, I don't know, a lobster farmer or a harbor master. And that's a lie. People have dug in now and said it's not like your typical harbor master where big boats are coming in. You know, dinghies might go out. It's akin to holding a clipboard. Everything about this guy is a facade. And now that facade is being chipped away very, very methodically, and there's probably a whole lot of dirt still left to come out. Now, here's where it's going to get really interesting. Are they going to do another Biden Kamala? Are they really going to completely pervert democracy? You know, the same people, we got to save democracy, except when we need to get Biden out of here, except when we need to get this guy out of here. Could they possibly be that obtuse, that stupid, to once again take out somebody who's in the primary, who gets voted in, and then just change him out because they don't like him? The only way that happens is because the Democrats aren't running real candidates. They're installing people who want to follow and give them what they want. This guy is a rubber stamp. I don't know where they find these nuts. But when you take the risk of bringing in a rubber stamp, you haven't done your homework. You haven't vetted him. You haven't had private investigators go dig into his past. They're just throwing people out there and hoping for the best. So if this guy gets more stuff coming out after June 9th, when he's pretty much going to be locked in, the only way out is for A, them to substitute somebody else in, or for the current governor to basically resuscitate her campaign and decide to run. It's very interesting. She came out today and she said, I didn't withdraw. Really? She goes, no. And this is a word you have to always listen to when these candidates play games. She said, I suspended my campaign, but I never withdrew. I am going to be on the ballot. So as of right now, the Democrats are going to have two people on the Democrat side of the table. She made it known today, I did not withdraw. My name is still there. And watch what happens over the next 5 or 6 days if they decide, yeah, you got to go, and we're going to put in this woman here. They are completely out of options in so many different ways. They're all trying to do everything they possibly can to compare him to Trump. Well, Trump's not his opponent. Donald J. Trump is not Graham Platner's opponent. Graham Platner's opponent is Susan Collins. And so every time they say something like, even when Caitlin Collins goes, hey man, what are you going to do? You know it's bad. When different news reporters are, what do you got to do? I don't want to even talk about it. You know it's real bad. Somebody put the word out, whether it's Pelosi or Schumer, Obama, don't talk. Don't say anything. Let's pretend as though the monster isn't under the bed. And that monster is right there in front of you. And it would be different if the guy would clean up. If he would shave and look presentable and put on a suit, maybe they could, massage his persona. But he wallows in it. He wallows in the fact that he's a dirtbag. Here I am. I'm a dirtbag. I'm a complete scumbucket, and I don't care. Elect me. Which is, I can't even understand how that would be a campaign promise. I can't even understand the good people in Maine are not looking at this joke of a candidate and saying, we got to do something. I don't know who's advising him. Dude, shave. Look presentable. Look like you're a professional. You're not John Fetterman in Pennsylvania. You're in a little itty-bitty area in Maine. Now, I don't know. Maybe the people in Maine are bat poop crazy. Maybe they'll do anything just so that a Republican can't win. It's very, very possible. It's very possible that we are at a situation right now where the Democrats don't care about anything having to do with America, don't care about improving your life, and it doesn't matter. We have to destroy the country. I think that's where we are. I really do think that's where we are, which is absolutely disgusting. So you think to yourself, what can you do? You're not in Maine, unless you are, but many of you are women. And women listen to other women. I don't know if the guys saw today. I mean, they saw. I don't know if the ladies saw today, but down here in Miami, Sports Illustrated had its swimsuit fashion show. And this couple of these women were all over X. I mean, bouncing and bubbling, if you know what I mean, all over. And I kept seeing women, Republican women and Democrat women. Do we need to see this? Is this where we are now? Or this is where we're back to? Letting, women just bounce on a stage for the applause of men? Is this where we are? And as I was watching comment after comment from women, I thought to myself, are you applying that to Graham Platner? Yes, this buxom, beautiful women were strutting their stuff like it used to be. Many of you guys remember the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition all the way back when you were kids. And as we progress, many women didn't like it. All of a sudden, we started getting Transformers and fat chicks. Today, they turned it. They flipped the switch. It was complete TNA. But because of what's happened over the last 10 years, so many women were like, hey, man, that's a bit much. And I just thought to myself, I didn't want to comment, but I just thought to myself, if you think that's a bit much, if you think there's guys ogling and rewinding and playing this video all over and over again from different angles and trying to see stuff, if you think that's bad, what do you think about this guy in Maine who is having weenie pics sent all over, who talks about the Führer being his weenie, with doing this as a married man? Is that who you want representing you? I know for a fact. I told you sometimes Robin scares me, but I could not even imagine going and looking around and rewinding because she would be upside my head. Not that I would do it anyway, because I am happily married. But if women feel bad about that, I gotta believe there's ladies in the chat right now who've got to be talking to other women. This is what you guys can do. Hey, you live in Maine? Yeah. What the hell are you doing with this Nazi? I can't even say the words what this guy has done. Who's on these platforms sharing weenie pics. Is this where we are in 2026? I thought the whole, Me Too and everything else, this is what you were fighting against. And now have you completely cast all of your morals aside and decided this is what you have to vote for? I can't believe women would do that. I don't think these polls are registering. I don't think anybody's talking to people up there. I don't know if you've ever been to Maine. Like I said, we used to vacation in Bar Harbor. Beautiful place. And this isn't a bunch of teenagers. There's a lot of boomers who aren't going to sit well with the things they've heard, even if they're Democrat boomers. And I just think we should have a campaign where we're reaching out to these people in Maine who may not be hearing it on X. I don't know what degree of population is seeing this stuff. We need to let them know. Hey, did you know about this? Oh, you live in Maine. Did you know about this? I think that's what X and Facebook were designed to do. Talk about it. Even if it's somebody you don't know, they'll see it in the thread and they'll talk about it. Like I said, I'm not a big Susan Collins fan, but we need to stop this one thing in the bud right now. And that one thing is Democrats can do anything. We don't care. We're going to vote for the biggest POS we can find because it's not a Republican. We got to make sure that strategy is nipped in the bud. Don't show up at some rally looking like you just got out of bed and you walked out of the porta potty after, basically satisfying yourself. Put on a suit. You're going to represent the entire state of Maine. That's what you're going to look like? Let's start putting pressure on these people. And if you see people in other states talking about other candidates that are complete whack jobs, put pressure on them as well. We want people who are going to be stand-up Americans. Unless you've already thrown in the towel on America, just let us know. All right, so one thing I wanted to show you before I bring SV on. This isn't good. We got things blowing up over there in the Middle East. This was at about half an hour ago. Breaking explosions reported in Erbil, Iraq, Bahrain, and Kuwait. Significant air defense activity going. ARGC says they are targeting U.S. bases. If they're targeting U.S. bases, when you go to sleep tonight, you may wake up in a different world tomorrow. If that's what they're doing, if they are trying to blow up United States bases, let God help them. That's all I can say about it. Now I'm going to bring SV in, and he's got something he has to show you, and it's proof. But nonetheless, there you go. He got his hat. Yeah,
Ding, 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 ding.
They really are going out. They really are being delivered to people. Yeah, wow, it looks good on you too, man.
Thanks, man. I'd get, adjusting it. It's got to fit my large head. Hey, earlier, I'd rather watch that Sports Illustrated stuff instead of those banana hammocks thing that you talked about. Thank you very much. Good. Great. And the thing is, they still can't define what a woman is. What are they complaining?
Oh, there are people right now that will send them videos of what a woman is. Okay, because if there was any doubt before today, there's guys all over the country. I think I can show you. Not me, but yeah.
I posted a link to that on your earlier show in Rumble, and two of the guys, I assume they're guys, are like, I'm waiting for SV to post more of those. I'm like, all right.
You're gonna get a whole, you're gonna get a whole lot of ladies upset and everything, man. So be careful with that.
I mean, it's amazing though. I mean, like I think I saw a post earlier today that the Texas Rangers did not post any Pride stuff.
They refused.
I mean, it should be all of them. Why are we talking about one or two not doing it? Enough of that. Yeah.
Yep. More important. Oh, wait a minute. I got to show people this one. You guys are gonna like laugh your behinds off. So last week there was a big issue with the quarterback for the New York Giants introducing Donald Trump. And the guy who got mad was one of the linemen on the New York Giants, and I got a problem with that. Well,
Abdul.
Abdul, what's up, bro? Says Abdul Carter says he intends. I don't know if this is true. I didn't have time to verify it, but it says he intends to march in the New York parade this year.
Oops.
Seriously, bro? Yeah. Is that why? Is that the reason why you were so mad at Jackson Dart? Oh, by the way, Jackson Dart's girlfriend was one of the women who modeled at the swim shoot for Sports Illustrated these last couple of days. I don't know if you've seen that, but anyway.
No,
I was looking at.
You got to watch what you're.
I was looking at.
Watch what you're scrolling.
I was looking at the responses, and they're like, no wonder they hate this guy. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's a quarterback. He's worth millions upon millions right now. He's the number one quarterback in the biggest media market in the country, and then she walks out. It's just like, meanwhile, at the draft, this dude's family was in hijabs and everything. Wow. No wonder he's angry, man. He's got to be angry.
Did you see my comment? I said he's probably wishing he gets 72 soap on the ropes instead of virgins.
He said it, not me. Okay, he said.
Sorry.
Oh god. You have to sit here and walk and do that tightrope with these people, but yeah, you know what I mean. It's crazy.
Hey, I do have a quick little factoid that dropped like an hour or so ago about Karen Bass. So it's just real quick. So jaw-dropping figures find not only are 64% of Karen Bass's LA homelessness from outside LA, but 6% came from, get this, Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, and other countries.
Who is this? Her voters?
Yeah, the people that came. They said. In LA, Bass has been bringing in the homeless through her NGOs, and they did some statistics, and they found out, 6% came from other countries: Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, and other countries.
So they're going to try to get them to vote.
Well, I'm sure they are, and not only once, but probably several times. I mean, I'm already starting to cover the decision desk, and I'm seeing a lot of the pre-ballots. The numbers are high for Democrats. I mean, are they going to vote him tonight, or is this going to go on for the next 3 weeks? That's what I'm interested.
Well, remember, everybody, he doesn't have to win tonight. He just has to place at least second. If he's second, then they're going to have a runoff. As long as nobody gets, nobody gets over 50%, then they go to the runoff. But if he doesn't place in the top two, he's out.
Yeah. So, I sent you a short video. It was the second link sent you on X. It was a CNN randomly found a Democrat, and they were not happy with what it said. They basically had to admit something, but it's a short little video of a guy that was a former homeless person.
CNN had to admit?
CNN. Yes, they were interviewing a randomly found Democrat who was a former homeless person.
Yeah.
And so basically said, "Are you voting for Spencer Pratt?" I don't know if you can cue it up.
Yeah, I'm bringing it in right now as we talk.
Yeah, it's a 39-second clip.
All right, here we go.
As a Democrat, are voting for Spencer Pratt.
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
I do like his approach for the homelessness. As a person who used to be homeless myself, I was rendered the services that he's talking about. I was able to change my life 10 years sober with no alcohol and stuff like that. So his approach is really good. I do think it's fair for him to go off with the runoff with Karen Bass. This way, both of them can go ahead and prove to me why they deserve my vote. So as of today, I'm doing it, yes, because I do like his approach and I do think he deserves a fair chance. But come November, it could be different.
Okay, it's been really interesting how many people are animated one way or another.
It's really interesting, yeah.
Yeah, quick, go to the commercial.
We gotta go. It's really interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even Democrats are voting for frats, so that tells you a lot. I hope.
And they can't poll that either. See, that's something they're not asking how many Democrats are crossing over. So I don't know. We'll see how bad the cheat machine is, and if they're able to do it. Which if they can cheat, they will. That's for sure.
Right.
All right. Keep me posted.
Well, results probably won't come in much because they think the polls close at 11 p.m. our time, I believe, right? So 8
in California they don't close at all.
Yeah, that's They've been open since 2020. They're still counting votes.
It's like 7-Eleven. Are you done yet? No. It's we need another 3 weeks, okay, to count all this. It's so disgusting.
Come to California. We got the votes open in my little store.
Oh my
Thank you very
gosh.
much.
All right, I'll be back at you
See you soon.
in a little bit here. I want to tell you guys a little bit about tonight's sponsor, which is PDSdebt.com. Every single day you wait, the credit card debt is picking your pocket deeper while you sleep. You're working hard and the banks are laughing all the way to the vault. Enough already. Minimum payments aren't there to help you. They weren't built to set you free. They were there to keep you chained. You've paid, you've sacrificed, and the balances never shrink. That's not how we built this country, by keeping you in debt. I'm here to tell you there's a better way. PDS Debt. They've helped thousands of hardworking Americans slash their credit card, their personal loans, and medical debt by up to 50% or more. You get one simple lower monthly payment with zero hit to your credit score, and your savings can start the same day you finish their free 30-second assessment. No minimum credit score is required. PDS Debt is an A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and has thousands of 5-star reviews. And I know many of you I would believe, based on percentages, that there's probably many of you carrying more debt than you'd ever admit or that you even want to. You don't need a lecture. You need a way out. PDS Debt is that way out. Don't let another day feed the banks. Go to pdsdebt.com/Barry right now for your free, no obligation 30-second assessment. That's pdsdebt.com/Barry. Do it today because your money belongs in your pocket. Your pocket, not theirs. All right, be right back.
One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. a place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
We have made our adversary in a stronger negotiating position. We are the strongest nation on the planet Earth, and we're in a stalemate with Iran. And now we're begging to get back into a deal that you all trashed in the first place.
There's no one begging. I don't
Clearly,
know.
this is
Senator
Senator Booker, your time's up.
But
Senator Rubio, since he's
I do want to
over,
address
you
some of these
respond.
points because they go to the heart of the matter. No one's begging for anything here. The Iranians might be begging because their economy's losing hundreds of millions of dollars a day. That they are losing. Understand, Iran had street protests going on before all of this started. All of those factors, economic factors in Iran, are far worse today than they were 6 months ago when those protests were happening. They have hyperinflation, their currency's completely devalued, they're struggling to make payroll for their government workers. Iran is in a very serious situation, and if it was up to the political class there, and I understand everybody there is sort of radical in some way, but if it was up to the people that actually go to elections and wear the suits and you see on TV, they'd probably make a deal tomorrow. It's the issue they're facing is that the supreme leader and the IRGC Corps are a little bit more immune from those pressures until they can be convinced otherwise. And I think that's the direction that they're moving in, because the reality, I don't know where you're getting this perception that Iran is stronger. Iran has no navy left. They've lost a substantial percentage of their defense industrial base. That Iran has lost a substantial percentage of their missile launchers. And their economy is far worse today, and I mean far worse today, than it was 6 to 9 months ago. And they are looking at hundreds of billions of dollars of reconstruction costs just to get to where they were 6 months ago.
Mr. Rubio, you keep telling us how we're winning this war. The president keeps saying,
well, the war's over
completely
now.
Annihilated. The war is not over. And yet the American people see how we're losing at the pump and with their costs, and yet this thing still hasn't been resolved. Every day he tweets out, oh, we've obliterated them, we've annihilated them, they're going to surrender. But yet we still find ourselves spending billions of dollars a week
Senator
on
Booker,
a war abroad.
You've gone way over. And
It would be nice if we had hearings where people
Thank
had
you,
to
Senator Booker. Senator Scott.
All right. So earlier today, I showed you some of the hearing with Marco Rubio and these idiots. I've got a little bit of a flavor for you, because these are some of the things that happened later or after the break. And Marco just wasn't having it. He was just slapping these people back. You can see what they're trying to do at this point. The Democrats are trying to do this for the media. He actually said, a sitting American senator just said to the public on television that we are losing. I don't even care if we were losing, which we're not. Why the hell would you say to the American public we're losing? Nobody in their right mind who's in our government should be saying that to the American public. They're trying their best to destroy everything that we do, and they lie. I had posted something earlier, well, actually I posted something yesterday, and I also posted something earlier today that I want to show you, when they were talking about the gas prices and everything else in that regard. I posted this: Florida gas prices, nowhere near 5. Chris Murphy, he said 6. This is what Chris Murphy posted out there. Gas prices are $6 a gallon and going up. And I'm like, what are you looking at? I can tell you what they're looking at. They don't care. There are enough stupid people who can't even go to their own gas station and take a look. Oh, it's not $6 a gallon. It's not even close. But they just want to say these things because they're trying to poison people's minds. You can't get up in a hearing, an open hearing, if you're an American senator and say, we're losing. That's absolutely insane. No coach in their right mind would do that. But yet he doesn't care. Democrats don't care. They're not on our team. They want to see us lose. I also posted this just a little while ago after the show earlier to prove to you how bad these people are. See what I mean? This is in reference to what I said earlier. Why should I give what the Iranian media is saying? What is wrong with American reporters? This was a headline that was on CNBC after the earlier show. That headline: Trump and Rubio say talks with Tehran ongoing. It's despite Iranian media claiming otherwise. Why do I care what the Iranian media is saying? Why is it that you people want to be cheerleaders for our enemy? This is a problem. And we have to eradicate this, and it's going to need all hands on deck to stop this insanity.
Secretary Rubio,
This is why I was shocked to see that you were at a party with President Trump in Miami instead of accompanying Vice President Vance to Pakistan for negotiations.
What party was I at? I was at a party?
It's publicly reported, and there's photos there.
See, that's what they do. It's been reported. Where? What are you talking about? It's been public. What are you talking about? You're making stuff up. And she realized right there. She realized right there, I'm stuck. And what's my fall to? My fall to is to say, it's been reported. Oh, you mean like the Iranian media says something? Who's reporting it?
What party? No, but you're going to say that. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer that question because that's an absurd statement. I was not at a party.
If I finish my paragraph, he can answer.
People are going to slander me. I'm going to answer
Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, both of whom were never confirmed by this body to be America's diplomats, accompanied the vice president in the negotiations. Even Iran's foreign minister was not there, yet you were not, was there, and you were not. I just feel that's embarrassing for us, and it's embarrassing for you. So, Mr. Secretary, Congress represents the American people. We have the power to confirm who represents America abroad. We confirmed you to be our Secretary of State. We confirmed you to be in the negotiations that are happening. And it's just unthinkable to me that you are missing high-stakes negotiations or that you're not involved. It's sad.
Senator Rosen, your time's up. But
so let me
Secretary Rubio.
You're 100% inaccurate and 100% wrong. Here's why. Number one, the Vice President of the United States was there, and he wasn't confirmed by us, and he was elected by the American people. Okay, he is the second in line of the presidency of the United States. He was present. Mr. Witkoff is the president's envoy for negotiation for peace deals. Mr. Kushner is a private citizen that serves as an advisor on these functions. They were the team that we sent to Pakistan. I was not at a party. Where I was is next to the president. Because in the midst of those negotiations, I was in communications with them. And in fact, I think there is media reporting from that evening on how on multiple occasions I went into a back room, I came back out and spoke to the president and was constantly updating him. On that evening, I spoke to Mr. Kushner and our negotiating team and Mr. Witkoff on at least 6 occasions, including twice on a secure line from the phone they had access to over there. So you don't know what you're talking about. You're just making stuff.
You don't know what you're talking about. I love that he goes back at her. But the reason for what she was saying was merely to get that out there, to make it appear and give the lib nuts some red meat to attack Marco Rubio.
He has the floor.
I know your staff wrote up this cute statement for your TikTok video, but it's not true and it's not real. That's not what happened. Okay, I'm the National Security Advisor and Secretary of State. I was co-located with the President in the midst of a high-stakes negotiation so that I could immediately inform him about events occurring halfway around the world. I was where I needed to be at that moment because we had a very capable team on the ground in Pakistan, led by the Vice President of the United States.
In that regard, Mr. Secretary, I have a question for you regarding the designation of Cuba as a state sponsor of terrorism. On the very first week, at least, of this administration, the administration reinstated that. And in a recent January 26 EO, you made statements suggesting connections to Hezbollah and Hamas. The previous administration did a thorough review with the intelligence community and concluded that there was no evidence that Cuba was engaged in ongoing state sponsor of terrorism. Did you find new evidence to support that conclusion?
Well, first of all, let me just say that's your question, but you made this long statement of which I disagree with most of it. We won't have time to address every point that you made. So let's stick to Cuba specific, because that's the question that you asked. Cuba has sponsored terrorism.
Again, let's go ahead and weave this narrative that Cuba is okay. Now understand what you're seeing here. They're defending a communist country. They're defending a communist country that is severely oppressing their people. And the guy who's making these statements is the guy who flew to El Salvador to meet with the Maryland man, to go over and meet with a criminal. This is the same guy who's saying Cuba's fine. What are we worried about Cuba for? How about you go talk to some people in Cuba? How about you just go down to Miami? What the hell are you Democrats doing? You're defending communism. That's the take from this.
Supported groups, for example, virtually every left-wing, radical, violent terrorist group in the Western Hemisphere has at some point relied on support from Cuba. The ELN, the FARC dissidents, including them, have been involved there. We also know, for example, that Cuba continues to host a pretty substantial collection intelligence sites on behalf of the Chinese and the Russians. But you look at the region and you look at all of these leftist Marxist terrorist organizations, all of them, in many cases,
Mr.
got
Secretary,
their money
if I
from
can
the
move
Cubans.
on. I noticed you did not answer my question, because my final question to you, Mr. Secretary, relates to the El Asca Mosque complex. There have been reports that the United States is working with Israel.
Okay, so now he didn't get what he wanted. Now he's getting ready to talk about a mosque. And what's really interesting, because I had to pause it and go look it up as well. What in the hell is he talking about here?
Israel to take away the Kingdom of Jordan's custodianship over the El Asca Mosque complex in East Jerusalem. Can you confirm today that there's no...
I'm not even aware of those reports.
There are reports, so I was hoping you could confirm.
Is that like a media report, or?
There have been several media reports.
I love how he called him on it. Let me guess. Media reports? Yes, we have several media reports. Oh, so you're doing the wrap-up smear right now. You're letting somebody publish something in some newspaper that's completely full of crap, and now you're asking me about their crap article. Nancy Pelosi called that the wrap-up smear. Get it printed, and so then you can say, well, it's been reported. What the hell does that mean? You're asking a Secretary of State to validate an article from some left-wing rag.
Well, you know the media is always accurate.
No, they're not, and that's why I'm getting...
Yeah, no, I've never even heard that. That's the first time I even hear anybody discuss that.
All right, well, I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Secretary.
But we have a great relationship with Jordan, and we're very helpful. I've just never heard that before. You should, I don't know what article you're referring to. Just give it to me. I'll look at it.
I'm happy to.
Is it a credible website?
I'm glad to hear you say, Mr. Secretary.
Is it a credible website, or did you just pull it out of your rear end? He already knows the answer.
There's no truth.
I've never heard that discussed by anybody.
Self-defeating impacts. Your budget request here would sadly perpetuate that trend and undermine the roles and responsibilities that you should be fulfilling as Secretary of State. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Okay, I didn't get to answer any of that.
I didn't ask you a question.
Wait a second. I'm here to answer questions, and she just acknowledged I didn't ask you anything. What the hell did you just do? You just spent 5 minutes giving a diatribe and a rant, and you don't even want him to talk. I didn't ask you nothing. What the hell are we running here? What kind of thing? This is why I don't cover these things, because it just makes you angry. Like, wait a minute. You took all your time to trash him, to trash the Trump administration, and then say, I didn't ask you anything. Don't bother answering. What?
Well, she didn't answer the question. She doesn't want me to answer. Can I answer anyway?
I didn't ask him a question.
Well, but she made a bunch of points. I get to answer them, right? First of all, I don't understand this thing with let me tell you, we were just here, maybe you weren't here, we were just talking about it. We did a peace deal with Azerbaijan and Armenia. We just signed the TRIP agreement yesterday, actually, or last week we signed it. Last night I officialized it. That was diplomacy.
That's great, but the Trump administration has still blown through more money in 14 weeks
do I get to talk
than this entire budget that you're requesting.
Senator Duckworth, I'm going to let Senator Rubio reply to the statements that you made at his request.
Yeah,
But we've got a hard stop at 12:30.
Okay, but I know, but you said a lot of stuff. I get to answer some of it. All right, so the first is the second is India-Pakistan. We ended that war. We were involved in helping broker that. Thailand, Cambodia, that's diplomacy. We've been very engaged in fact, as I sit here now speaking to you, I've got the Lebanese government and the Israeli government meeting at the State Department starting at 8:30 this morning for the fourth time after engaging last week at the military level. So we're carrying out now, we're carrying out diplomacy all over the world constantly and very successfully in many cases. Now, let me make one more point that you raised about the budget request. Guys, we understand how this process works, okay? You guys understand. I know because I've been involved all the time. We OMB, produces sort of timelines for every agency. We put forward a budget. We say, this is the money we've been allocated. This is how we would spend it. There is a congressional process, which I'm sure you're aware of. And in my time here, 16 years that I was here, I don't ever recall us once ever taking the president's budget and passing it into law. I'm not walking away from the budget. We can make it work if that's the budget you give us. But I have a sense, I have a suspicion, right, Senator Schatz, that we're going to have to work with you guys, that we're going to have to, well, you know, that we're going to have to work with you guys on a budget request that meets your priorities and ours. That's how it works. You guys are the appropriators. We have to work within we will tell you what we care about. We will tell you how we're going to spend the money. But ultimately, you will provide us a spending bill, and we will work through those parameters. But we have given you what we can live with. We can make it work. But if you wanted, you know, if you're obviously going to have changes here in the Congress. But this stuff about diplomacy and the money spent on the war, diplomacy's always cost less money. We don't buy missiles. We don't buy rockets. We don't buy large airplanes and aircraft carriers. But we've been very effective. And I can give you list after list of places where we have had an impact in either de-escalating crisis before it started or ending active wars. And I'm very proud of the work that we've done in that regard, some of which haven't even been publicly discussed in some cases because they weren't high profile. And my last point, we remain heavily engaged in areas that may or may not at the core of our national interest.
Once he gets on a roll, he's got it. He knows his stuff so well. These people don't want him responding. They couldn't wait to get away from him. Tammy, she came in with basically a movie script. And she sat there and read what she had to read for 5 minutes. And I didn't ask you any questions. So you just came out here just to berate and get your stuff on the record for whatever reason. Absolutely crazy. Let me check with SV. You got anything? Oh, your window's on the left side now.
Yeah, I did the mirror thing. Beth made a suggestion. Thank you, Beth.
All right.
It will take getting some used to because the angle and stuff. So I'm working on that. I sent you a story from Eric Doherty. That story about Henry Nowak, it's not going away. I mean, it's heating up over in England. It's starting to get crazy.
Which one is it? Is it the body cam footage or?
No. The thing I showed you.
Yeah.
No, of course not. I showed you that someone showed up with a White Lives Matter truck with the faces of Henry.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah, so it's nothing bad. But I thought that was interesting. It's even starting to come, it's not being talked about in any of the left media. If it weren't for X, no one would know anything. I mean, obviously X is promoting it. It's such, I've been following a lot of stories. I mean, it's starting to ramp up. It's going to be huge. It's continuing to be huge. And we should have the same outrage that we had for George Floyd, right? I mean, come on.
Well, I'm gonna cover it tomorrow, but for people who aren't aware, because it's not getting in the news, why don't you explain what this whole Henry Nowak thing is? Because it's awful, absolutely awful.
To summarize, he's an 18-year-old. He was attacked by an invader.
You said he was 18. You left something out.
Oh. He was white.
Okay.
That's important. Yeah, he was a white male, 18 years old, attacked by an illegal invader. He was stabbed several times, and the police basically handcuffed him, and he was saying, "I can't breathe. I'm being stabbed." And the guy that attacked him told the police he was being a racist. So the police sided with the attacker, and the young man bled out and died.
18 years old.
18. Had the whole life ahead of him. Unbelievable.
And the whole time, from what I understand, the whole time they were messing with the kid, the guy who stabbed him, they hadn't even had him in custody. He wasn't even handcuffed.
Oh, yeah.
He's just standing there. Oh, this guy's a racist. Do what you need to do to this racist. And so our media doesn't want to get anywhere near it. It destroys narrative so bad. And I think you're right. I think this is going to be a big story somewhere.
I'm going to send you a link real quick. It's a chart that shows how the left media talked more about George Floyd and is not discussing. It's based on the murderer's race. I mean, it's proving that the left media is 100% racist.
Wow. The likelihood of legacy media discussing a murderer's race depends on a murderer's race. That's why when George Floyd got endless coverage and Henry Nowak needed an X campaign for the body cam. They did. They weren't even going to release the body cam footage.
Oh, yeah.
And so
they wanted to memory hole it so quickly to make it go on to the next story. But unfortunately, the elephant is in the room now.
I saw something, let me see if I can find it, that Benny had posted a chart. Let me see if I can find the chart that he put up as well.
Okay.
I mean, he tweets so much, I don't know how long it's going to take me to scroll back. But where is it? Hold on. I'm getting there. I think I'm getting there. It's just so much. I'm trying to go through all this stuff that he tweets. But basically, it came out that the media had made 6,400 articles. 6,400 about George Floyd. 0 about this guy. 64. Oh, here it is right here. Actually, Elon Musk posted it. And here we go. Says, not even, Elon says, not even one story. The New York Times, no, I didn't say, I'm sorry, I said the media. It's just one outlet. The New York Times alone had posted almost 6,400 articles about George Floyd. And zero.
Let me fix it for you. The failing New York Times.
Wow, 6,400 just from one media outlet. I can't imagine if you add up Huffington Post and all the big news sites and then say how many of you have talked about Henry Nowak. So that's really bad. Really bad.
Quick question. How many Trump endorsements was he up to that won? 117, was it?
Yeah, 117, 118, yeah.
All right, check your X. 3 more just won in New Jersey primaries.
You're kidding me. It's already coming in?
Yeah, the New Jersey stuff.
Hold on. All right, so it says 3 Trump candidates win their New Jersey primaries. Expect Trump's endorsement record to go up even more. Tom Keene, I thought Tom Keene would win. Who's this guy? Chris Smith. And Jeff Van Drew is an incumbent, so he's already there. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Another 3, so he's up to 120.
Whew. Wow! I'm going all in, Barry. All my chips are going in.
Wow!
Sticking with winners.
Thank you. Let me move on to. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just trying to think. What am I going to get through tonight? Be back in 90 seconds.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
I'm so sick and tired. These officers are being threatened. There is violence against them. They are being doxxed. They are being harassed. They're being spit at. They're being attacked. And the frustrating thing is normally law enforcement circles the wagons around all other law enforcement. That is not the case in these sanctuary cities and states. Tom, I mean, what can we do when they don't do their job?
Well, thank you for doing it now. When President, before I went up there on Thursday and spent 5 days out there, President Trump's instructions were zero tolerance. You put a hand on an ICE officer, you spit on an officer, you threaten an officer, you damage a vehicle, zero tolerance, you get arrested, you're going to be federally prosecuted. And that's what we did from day one. So I went up there with two things, Sean. Number one, I want to lock down that facility. I want to fortify it. And also want to get the state and locals to do their public safety job.
Okay, I apologize why you see the blur over the images is because the people here don't like seeing those kind of images. But listen to what he's saying.
Kind of the same thing I did in Minneapolis. So we went up there. We put Jersey barriers in. We put embassy fencing in. We put pole cams in so we can film everybody that gets out of control and get pictures of them. We put additional spotlights up there. When we got done with that facility, there's no one breaking that facility. And if somehow they did, there's going to be a bad day. They're going to meet a dozen or more special response team members who are going to meet them at the gate, and it's not going to be a good day for them. So now that the facility's secure and hardened, then I went and met with the mayor of Newark. I met with the head of the police. I met with the state troopers. I've had several calls with the governor. And from the minute I walked in and talked to the mayor and the chief, the police, I said, we need you to stop the traffic through that area because a lot of this traffic is nothing but the agitators. We need you to put up protest areas so they can peacefully protest. We need law enforcement to do their public safety job because up until that time, they wouldn't respond to 911 calls from our officers who were being attacked.
Imagine that. The most basic of jobs. The phone rings when somebody dials 911, and they were ignoring the calls. They were told to stand down. They were allowing people to be hurt. They were putting people in vulnerable situations, and they didn't care. And it was more important that they try and protect the illegals. My gosh, when you think about that, and as he's talking and saying this, you realize we're in a really bad place. You're willing to get law enforcement hurt, killed, just because you don't want them being held at this facility, which, by the way, Obama was one of the first ones to use this facility. To do what? To hold illegals. But now all of a sudden Trump's in office and you got to have all these people from not other countries to vote. This has become the number one issue with the Democrats. They don't care about anything else and they're willing to hurt people.
So I left that meeting about 70% of what I wanted, but within a couple hours, we got everything we wanted. So I've had meetings with the police department yesterday again. I met with the troopers yesterday, thanking them for the great job they did. I think what you're seeing right now, this isn't just hate for the ICE badge. It's hate for the badge, because now the troopers in the Newark Police Department are being assaulted by these same rioters.
We've discussed this many times, Tom, and as a matter of law, they have codified the idea, being a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state, that they're just aiding and abetting in the law breaking. I don't know what recourse your department would have, you would have, agents have, and local law enforcement. Are they being ordered to stand down and not help at a time of need with a fellow officer? That's unconscionable and frankly unheard of in my world.
Well, like I said, we addressed that in New Jersey, and we got local law enforcement, state law enforcement to finally do their public safety job. But we got to remember what started all this. You got Democratic lawmakers on Memorial Day making false allegations about the facility, about the food, the medical care, hunger strikes. I went into that facility. I went to the medical. I went to outdoor recreation, indoor recreation. I even made a surprise visit this weekend and walked into the cafeteria and ate the same meal that the detainees around me were eating. And I made sure my tray equaled their tray. I had spaghetti and meat sauce. I had beans. I had green beans. I had bread and rolls.
See, that's the problem. I don't know if you heard about this insanity. They're mad because the people in the detention center are not being fed ethnic food. We don't want spaghetti and meatballs and bologna. We want, tacos and burritos. Now, I don't know if you've ever visited a jail, but when you go to a jail, maybe your church will take you in. If you go to a jail, it's rather diverse. There's the white criminals, the black criminals, and Hispanic criminals. However, they do have a few commonalities. They all have the same clothes on. They all have the same sandals on, and they're all eating the same bologna and refried beans. It's not a culinary experience. You're not there to be fed, have a chef come in. And they're arguing these people aren't being served ethnic food. You know how they can get ethnic food? It's very simple. They can have as many burritos and enchiladas, all they want. In Mexico, they could leave. They could say, listen, I'm done fighting this. Just send me home. I'm out. But they're being made to stay in America. They want these people to be the object of this fight. I'm pretty sure, given the opportunity of sitting here in a cell with a bunch of bad guys, if I'm not the bad guy, and I'm seeing my wife in another cell, I think given the opportunity, hey man, give me the $2,500, I'm out. I'll leave. Remember that. I think that's still in place. I think they still can opt for a couple grand and a plane ticket. Why are they even in New Jersey? Nobody's talking about. And they're being used as pawns by the Democrat Party.
I had drinks, I had dessert. The food was good. It's all a false premise. There was never a hunger strike. The congressman said, people are on hunger strike. No, they weren't. They may not be eating in the cafeteria, but what I found out, they're ordering food from the commissary and eating in their cells. So there wasn't any abuse. It's not inhumane conditions. I went to the entire facility. I ate the same meal they ate. That facility is well run, and the governor keeps saying she's going to keep raising hell if that facility shuts down. Well, I got news for the governor. That facility isn't going anywhere.
Aha, I love it. Yeah, you could bitch all you want. We're not closing it. We're not going anywhere. We already got a judge to tell us we can get everybody out of here. Every single thing that the Democrats are doing is posturing for cameras. There's no truth to anything that they're saying. Oh, I went in there today and it was deplorable. It was awful. Well, why don't you go into, Rikers Island? You could go right now to Rikers Island. I bet you won't stay more than 20 minutes. You're like, this place is disgusting. Why is it that every American prisoner, you don't care how they're put in jail? You're not down here at Broward County Jail. Nope. No, you don't come there. You only go to where the illegals are. And you pitch a fit there. There's nobody protesting in Rikers Island. Why are they not protesting at Rikers? This is all choreographed and funded.
We're going to enforce the law. We're going to detain people and we'll remove people. Matter of fact, a lot of the people in that facility, we couldn't release because they're mandatorily detained by federal statute. So we couldn't release them if we even wanted to. But we're not going to release any of them. Everybody in that facility I have ascertained is legally being detained. Legally being detained. Many of them, again, mandatory detention, many of them criminals.
It's called the Supremacy Clause, Tom, as you know. And what is your reaction? What do you say to all these elected officials? The dehumanizing rhetoric, the insightful rhetoric, in my view, Nazi, fascist, racist, Gestapo. What impact is that having on people like the ones we're watching on our screen right now?
Look, death threats against ICE officers up 8,000%. I mean, one of our officers got bitten. Another officer got severely injured. I mean, they were attacking our ICE officers because the local and the state law enforcement wouldn't even respond to help us. Now, we got state and local doing their job. But the sanctuary cities, you mentioned in the beginning, what can we do? I talked to Todd Blanche several times. I know there's numerous lawsuits being levied. I hope those lawsuits are successful. The Department of Justice hitting it hard. But the American people need to raise hell. I mean, the reason this whole thing started is because a Democrat congressman out there making false allegations. I asked the governor, you're making all these allegations. Give me an example. Give me a name. Give me a date. Who was abused? Who wasn't given medical attention? Give me the specifics. And they couldn't. They just said, well, it's what we're hearing. And that's what caused all this. And let's remember why President Trump, the greatest president in my lifetime, why we're doing what we're doing, because of 4 years of open borders, millions of people released in the country. Mass illegal immigration means mass deportations, and that's exactly why we're in New Jersey and every place else around the country.
Yeah, tell them. It's all a lie. Like I said earlier, it's all a movie. You're watching a movie, and that's how they want it to be. So I'm going to move into the next section here. I want to talk to you a little bit about everything that's been going on with the concert. And it was so funny. Somebody in the chat saw the title of tonight's show, and they're like, who's Vanilla Ice? And I realized, oh my gosh, you don't know who Vanilla Ice is? Well, after this next segment, you're not only gonna know who Vanilla Ice is, you're gonna be a fan of Vanilla Ice. Even if we weren't fans in the '90s, if we thought he was corny, if we thought he was cringe, I wish that more Americans were this cringy. Because as he's talking, you realize this is what we need to put in the veins of more and more Americans. He is so exuberant that by the time this interview is over, he has the woman on CNN smiling. That's that infectious patriotism, that infectious love for your country is what we need. And I couldn't believe it, because you'll see we'll point it out. At the beginning of the interview, she's not really tolerant. She's sitting back, quite aloof, trying to dig at him. And then by the time it's over, you are going to see the smile where she's like, I remember being 19. You know, I remember when we just had fun. It was so funny. Ashley sent me an email. Let me see if I can find it. I want to read it to you. There was a gentleman in our chat the other day. We were talking about bands. And when we were talking about bands, he invited me to on the chat to go work security at his show. And everybody was like, well, who is the guy? Who is he? What's he doing? So let me find this email that Ashley sent me. She forwarded it to me from the gentleman. And is this it? Yeah, okay. Right there. Hey, Barry, I've been enjoying your show for quite a while. Not only for the political content, but for the real estate and the financial topics you cover as well. Anyway, SV put your mail in the chat, and since there's no real to DM or private message in Rumble, I'd figure I'd email you. I play guitar for a band called Slipknot. And if you guys never heard the band Slipknot, you'd have to go look at the. If you don't know, you probably don't know. But just imagine back in the day, you were in mosh pits. And if you were in a mosh pit, you understand who this band is. And he goes on to say, we've been at it, this band, for 27 years. A couple people in the chat asked, what is your band? And I'd like to stay relatively under the radar. But if they know the band, they could probably figure it out by my profile picture and screen name. I was joking about coming and doing security for us, but you're more than welcome to come see a show when we play South Florida. I'll have our security guys set you up with clothes or even backstage parking and, of course, passes. Thank you for the great work and info. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I haven't seen that band in ages. And I remember just being in a mosh pit and looking crazy with my big ass in there because we had fun. And I was sitting on the back porch by the pool, and Rob was like, what are you smiling at? I'm like, I remember that. That's what we were doing. We didn't say, are you black, white, what country are you from? Are you gay? Are you straight? Are you trans? No, we had fun. We watched football, and they've systematically tried to take all of that away from us. Don't let them. And so as you listen to this interview with Vanilla Ice, tell me by the end, I'd love to see it in the chat, if you guys are like, yeah, I love that. Listen to this.
Tell us why you're still planning on performing, even though we've heard that from the president, when so many other performers are deciding not to.
I don't know. I can only speak for myself, and I'm proud to be an American. I was born here and raised here, and this is my country, and I don't like anybody telling me I really can't be proud of it. And this is a huge honor to play the birthday. It's once in a lifetime, 250. So I'm honored, and I just, I respect everybody else. I know there's a lot of tension everywhere. This whole world is like a snow globe, but it shouldn't be that. And music is here to bring people together, man. And, it shouldn't be that this music is dragged into politics. It's not fair, I don't even vote. I'm not a politician. I don't have anything I don't even have the first thing to say about how to run a country or do anything like that. I think this is a huge honor, and I'm wanting to celebrate the country I was born and raised in, man. And we didn't take things so serious back in the 90s.
That's it. We didn't take life so seriously back in the 90s. Doesn't matter what age you are now, but dial it back 36 years ago. They're like, wait a second. Nah, man, I was almost married to Robin, but before that, I was working in clubs and we were having fun. And it was just like, hey, what can we do? What's next? Where are we going to go? Down here in South Florida, there was a place called the Button South. Great rock concerts at the Button South. And there was another place. So we would go out at night. And the first thing you did at night, you'd probably, for us rockers, we'd hit, probably Summers on the Beach. And Summers on the Beach would go until like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then you'd leave 2 or 3 o'clock from Summers and you'd head down to the Button South in Hallandale, and they were open till 8 o'clock in the morning. And then you walked out and the sun would hit you you're like a vampire. And then, it was amazing. I saw so many bands. I promoted so many bands. We had fun. And never, ever did I ask, so are you MAGA? Are you insane liberal? No, you probably were a liberal. But it didn't matter. I saw somebody in the chat here say something about, would people even know what the Insane Clown Posse is? Yeah, I do. I know exactly who the the Juggalo. Oh my God, I'm dating myself here. It was fun. And Vanilla Ice is just telling her. By the way, as you're looking at his property behind him, understand what he did and why he's different than a lot of musicians. He made a lot of money on that one song, and he's parlayed that into a 30-year career. But he made most of his money, wait for it, in real estate. He came down to South Florida and said, I've got some cash. I want to get into this house flipping thing. And he's flipped so many houses and big money houses. And he's just loved life. And he doesn't think that much of himself. Dude, I'm a one-hit wonder per se. And I'm just blessed to be in this country where they allowed me to make all this money and have fun.
Sorry for these kids today, man. I have kids, so I know, and it's a different world. I mean, these computers have kind of ruined the world, if you ask me. I think we should all go back to the 90s and the 80s when it was just, having fun and Z Cavricis, and you just go out and you rip your back seat and you put subwoofers in and you enjoy going to Blockbuster. That's all we're doing is celebrating the birthday of our country.
Imagine right now how many kids don't know what the hell Blockbuster is. Just think about that for a second. They don't remember Blockbuster. They don't remember ripping music by using Napster. I don't know how many files you downloaded, but I remember Robin and myself and one of my partners and his girlfriend sitting at a computer and thinking to ourselves, hey, remember that song? Who sang that song? Oh, I got it. And we would download just massive amounts of music just to put it into your, radio, your CD. Back then we had CDs. Blockbuster. There's a blast from the past. These kids have no idea.
It's a big deal here. And as far as entertainers, I don't think it's fair to put any of us on a pedestal like that as far as politics goes, because it shouldn't matter. We're just here to play. I'd play for anybody. So it's, I go play for Biden's family or anybody. It doesn't matter. It's all about just enjoying music. There's fans everywhere.
Yeah, so
you see in her face, she's looking kind of pained. This interview isn't going the way she wants. She's trying to get him to say, why would you be out here, playing a MAGA event? It's really bad. I'm sure, your other artist friends, they're telling you, don't do it. And he's going to give you a peek into what's really going on in the music business.
Listen, I love the 90s and I miss Blockbuster myself, but I want to ask you about what these other performers are saying, because they're largely saying that they were sold this as being nonpartisan, they didn't know, and it's a Trump-affiliated group putting it on. What were you told when you booked this performance?
I don't ask questions. I just play, man. I don't even know. I ask, where we playing today? It's all.
So many of you have probably been to concerts and you see the people on stage and they're coming out with their guitars. Hello, Houston. I mean, Cleveland. They don't even know where the hell they are. But a lot of times, if it's not taped up or somewhere where they can look out, they don't even know what city they're in. They go, get on the bus, and we're going to go play in this town. And I can't even tell you how many times I've been backstage where it's taped back behind the stage. You're in Boston. Okay. You're in Houston. You're in Detroit. Hey, Detroit, how you doing today? Dude, you're in Cleveland. Oh, sorry about that. I don't even know. Because that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. Your manager, they go ahead and take the offer. You've already told them what you want. They pay it. The people agree to pay it. And you've got your road manager that collects the money that night. And everything else is you just get on the bus and go play. Now, listen what he says about the other performers.
Awesome, and I'll play anywhere for any fan. I don't think it's important to really dissect it and look at it in any kind of way like that because I don't take it too serious. I know that if I'm booked, I got fans that booked me and they're ready to dance and have a great time. And
that is the essence of the entire thing. I know if somebody's paying me to come play, then they must have an audience that wants to hear me. End of story. That's what Martina McBride and Brett Michael and everybody else. You didn't screw Trump. There were people there who were looking forward to seeing you. There were people there who, it's a free event, but they were still going to have to travel and come see you sing. They were your fans. You have a currency right there. You have a bond. You have a relationship. You have an obligation. And so like he's saying, I'm told I'm playing in this city. I know that there's going to be people who want to see me. And so I got to come out like it's the first show I've ever done. I don't care what time it is. I don't care where it is. I have to make sure all those people standing in that audience understand I'm here to sweat for the next 2 hours and just do it for you. Now, I don't know when Springsteen changed, but I'm pretty sure when people are paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a ticket, there's nothing on that ticket right now that says you're going to hear him sing these songs and he's going to give you a political soliloquy. I got to go to the bathroom while Bruce is talking, man. I can't do this. I didn't come here for this. You owe me, man. You owe me. I didn't pay for this. I don't know if you've seen the news, but it happened with the Black Crowes last night. They're not nearly as big as Springsteen, but they had that relationship, and they're playing their songs, Too Hot to Handle and everything else, and then he decides he wants to talk crap about Trump. And they got up and left. They walked out. I didn't come here. I want to remind myself what it was like hearing your songs back then. It could have been that girl. It could have been that job. It could have been that place. That's what I wanted to relive. I didn't come here to hear you talk about Trump. I'm your fan. I paid money to hear you sing. Get up there and do the, shuck and jive and play your guitar. That's what I'm here for. That's what I brought my girlfriend or my wife. We didn't come to hear you bitch about Trump. And so he has an ideology that's gold. I'm here to have fun, and I'm here to put on a show for the people that want to see me.
Celebrate and bring people together. I think it's really wrong for people to attack musicians in either direction politically because, you know, the country needs to come together, and this is a good time to do it. And, you know, I know there's differences everywhere, and I know that I also know that you can shake a hand and make a friend, and I also know that smiles are contagious. So if you get out and you kind of start practicing these things, you'll see that it'll start to marinate on people and we'll become one more. And I think that's what we need to do, is we are all one around the whole world, man. Enjoy each other's company and smiles and stuff. And, you know, this shouldn't be put on the musicians like this. This is a moment to celebrate our country turning 250 years, no matter who puts it on.
So, and I hear you saying, you're saying music is not political. You've said that before here. But, you know, rap, the genre that gave you your success, is often political. Its roots are political. And everyone knows Ice Ice Baby. I mean,
see, that's the difference. She's starting getting to a little bit of a vein here where you don't know what you're talking about, honey. See, the big difference is if I was going to go see NWA, or if I was going to go see XYZ band, I already know what they're about. See, Springsteen was never talking about Republicans and MAGA. He just sang his songs. This is something new. But if I go see a rap band that's talking about the struggle, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. Yeah, okay, I hear what you're talking, bro. I understand what you're saying here. Versus Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which was just goofy music. There were some serious hardcore rap artists back in the day who talked about the struggle. But you knew if you went to go see them, that's what their music was about. It's completely different. If I go to a taco restaurant, I'm not expecting to get fried shrimp. It's not a seafood restaurant. If I'm going to hear NWA or African Bambaataa, you know, rest in peace, or some other rap band that's going to be talking about the struggle, I know this is what they're going to put on me. So I don't go there waiting for something else. Vice versa, if I went to see the Beastie Boys, I know that's just going to be fun. It's not. So you have to understand the band that you're talking to. If you're going to see, well, you can't see him now, he's dead. If you're going to go see Crosby, Stills, Nash, and or Young, you knew that David Crosby was crazy. And he was still fighting the Vietnam War. You knew it going in. Neil Young, one of his best songs is Ohio. You knew that this was what they were all about. That's the difference she's not understanding. I know you, I follow you, I'm a fan of yours. You know, I know what you're all about.
everyone knows it. But your time before that big hit is really interesting because you opened for NWA. I know you credit the Stop the Violence tour with your big break. It's a tour that was actually part of a political movement about violence in communities of color. And you've covered music by Bob Marley, by Public Enemy. I mean, wouldn't it be weird if music actually completely stayed out of politics? So your career might be very different.
No, because
No, idiot. Jane, you ignorant, you know what? That's different. If I go see Marley, and I understand he's talking about Trenchtown in Jamaica, and he's going to sing Redemption Song. Oh, pirates. Don't get me started, my Jamaican heritage.
I don't have any politics in my music, and that's their music, and that's what they feel to represent. You know, music is expression. So if
And right there, he got her. Notice when she started smiling. It was right there that he stuck the thing in her chest, and she realizes right now, yeah, you're right. You're right, man. Music is music. Martina McBride, you didn't get to see her face like that. Brett Michael, you missed it. You made it about the politics instead of just keeping it about your music. I can guarantee you that every single person, if they came to came to the show, even if it was a MAGA 250, was there to hear your songs. Even if the Dixie Chicks hadn't said anything and had showed up, just sing your damn songs. MAGA wouldn't have said, hey, you think she's a liberal? I don't care. Sing your song. But he got her right there. You can see it in her face. She's like, yeah, I remember. Something took her back right then.
Bob Marley feels like expressing something about his religion or the politics, then that's up to him, and I respect him for that, you know? I'm Ice Ice Baby. I'm Go Ninja Go. How can you take this serious? This has got to be fun. We're just going back to the fanny packs and the crazy neon colors and having fun and enjoying our country that I was born in. I want to celebrate the birthday of my country, and I'm honored to be here and do this.
So if you're looking at her, you see she's looking down. What that means is she completely changed from whatever is on that teleprompter as she's looking at him. Whatever they had asked her to read, whatever questions they had asked her to say, she's now looking at her monitor, looking at him. I don't know what he said, but something made her completely think the other way. And he got her.
Yes, and I think it's a great event, and I think people to put the musicians on a spotlight like they are is not fair to us as musicians on both sides. And I'm still on the tour right now with everybody. Young MC's on the tour with me. I played with them yesterday. I mean, we're all friends. Our little chat about it was so simple. It was like, man, I don't know. It's just, it's a lot of heat around the world right now, and.
All right, so Young MC was one of the guys who canceled. Young MC is currently on a tour with Vanilla Ice. Dude, you back out? Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of heat. They're still sitting there on the same show, going from town to town, knowing that this guy who he's playing with is playing at the 250 event, but he had to back out because there's a lot of heat. See, that's the answer right there. It wasn't the artist. Somebody put heat and said, you better cancel. Whether it's a record company, whether it's a agency, whether it's a radio station, whether it's a promoter in another city, back out of this. What do you mean there's a lot of heat? He didn't say, I didn't want to do it. That's the thing that caught me. Hey, man, I'm here with Young MC, and we're out here every night just doing our thing, and he said there's a lot of heat. He didn't tell Ice Ice that I don't want to do it. I can't. There's heat. So he let the cat out of the bag right there.
It's not fair to any of us. So I love everybody, man. I think this world needs a lot more love in it. I think it would be a lot better. And, all of our friends and neighbors around each other, no matter what side you're on, I don't think that should be split so much. I see that the split causes these young generation 30 and under to really be confused. They got enough to absorb anyway right now, man. They need to be.
She's tuned in. I don't know if the producer's talking to her. Look up. Hey, she's just watching him talk right now. No questions, not breaking in. Not paying any attention to the teleprompter. She's zoned in on him. He got her.
Unconfused, and I wish they could just go back to the 90s and see how simple it was before these computers ruined the world. And all this social media and these smartphones and all this stuff that they have to contend with. We didn't have any of it.
You see her face? Somewhere in what he's saying right now is what's in all of us. We don't give a shit about MAGA in terms of music. We don't care about Pride Night at football. Shut up. You're here because we bought your albums. We bought your tickets. You remind us of a different time. Reminding her before she worked at CNN. Maybe back when she was in college. Maybe when she was in high school. And she's realized she's probably singing a song in her head. Ice, Ice, Baby. And it didn't have anything to do with politics. And I just watched this, and I watched her go from cold and hard at the beginning of the interview to now where she's sitting there with just a big smile on her face. Because you can't hide it. You can't hide. As I wrote here, does anybody remember fun? She does. She remembers it right now. Many of you in the chat remember fun. As Robert Plant, anybody remember laughter? Remember what President Trump posted a few days? Are these people happy? Do you know any happy Democrats? They would be happy if they just sat back and remembered what laughter and happiness was. Now, unfortunately, there's so many of these young kids who haven't had happiness. A lot of these, what do they call them? I don't even know what gen something they are right now. They didn't have the clubs. They didn't have the concerts. They didn't have bladder busters in bars. They didn't enjoy throwing up and having to like wake the next morning because the room is spinning. Y'all did it. Every single one of y'all did something crazy. All right. I remember getting busted because I took a couch off of somebody's porch because I was roasted. Walking down the street with a couch over my head. I was like, what in the hell are you doing? Huh? Bear, put that down. Okay. Think about it. I hope right now most of you are sitting back going, I remember being in college. I remember being in high school. I remember walking through a mall one day and what's the song? Well, he was just 17, an old Beatles song. But it was at the same time that Tiffany got really big. And as I'm walking through the store, the Beatles rendition, the real one, was playing on the music. And the kid looks at his mom and says, why are these guys ruining Tiffany's song? Obviously that mattered to me because it burned in my brain. I'm like, I'm old. I'm old. And the mother looked at me and I just went, oh my gosh. Mom, why are they ruining Tiffany's song? And I'm like, what, the best band that ever lived sang that song. Never mind. I'm just going to leave.
Man, it can be so much more simple. It's in the head. I don't think we should take any of this too serious. We're all going to die one day, man. You better enjoy this ride. For you to go out and make problems everywhere or have any problems and cause or be a part of or any of these crazy things, I don't know why you take life so serious. You could actually flip the script and enjoy your life. That's all. Get out and enjoy your life. Pina coladas, palm trees instead of vote lines and craziness. Come on. What's the difference?
He got her to laugh. Here's an anchor on CNN. I don't know which part. She laughed when he said pina coladas. So there must be a pina colada story somewhere in her back mind. She just laughed like a little girl, like a schoolgirl. It was such an innocent laugh. You can't hold that in. It's infectious. We can't hold in fun and laughter, and you're looking at a CNN host who went from, I'm going to nail this guy to, yeah, I remember pina coladas. I bet you do, honey.
It's your option.
Well,
you can, options,
listen, you can vote and have a pina colada, and I hear what you're saying. I think we all agree there needs to be more love, and go back to the fanny pack. I never gave it up.
Yeah. She's talking about fanny packs. So now I know something about her and you know something about her that we didn't know before. She's into pina coladas and fanny packs. If I've never met Brianna, if I was walking down the hallway at CNN, I now know I could make her smile. How about those pina coladas and fanny packs? And she would just break out because I don't know what that means to her, but I know it means fun. And so as I was watching this interview, and I'm like, man, this guy is infectious. This guy is, I hope he blows it out when he plays the 250 event. I want people like this. Dude, man, I don't take myself seriously. I made a rap song as a white guy when I was like 19, and I made millions of dollars off of one song that I ripped off Queen and David Bowie. My song sounds like din 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 din. Their song's like din 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 din. He actually said that in an interview. He got sued. He sampled Queen and David Bowie under pressure. But just
Rob, Vanilla Ice, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate your time today.
Love you guys. Be well. We'll have a great one. Happy birthday, America.
Thank you.
Have a great one. Thank you.
It feels so good. It feels good. I know you're sitting there going, yeah. And I'm looking at some of the chat here. People are like Meatloaf and all the different songs that people are talking about. Boone Farm Strawberry. Oh gosh. Mad Dog 2020. Oh my gosh. I just hope, we talk about politics so much. I wanted to let you guys hear that because of all the crap that's happening. And I just saw this guy beaming, just absolutely beaming, smiling, and it got her to crack. Someone somewhere can get you to crack. Someone you're going to talk to. You may talk to somebody tonight. Hey, man, you remember Ice Ice Baby? Yeah. When's the last time you listened to that? Turn it on, download it on YouTube, and listen to it for the first time in 30 years, and make yourself laugh. Well, all this other stuff is burning around us. I think we need to laugh. I think we need to have fun, because these people on the left, they don't know fun. They don't have the memories we did. I don't know why, but they just don't. I remember there's Nicholas Lamonicus. He's in here all the time. We were talking the other day, and I was telling him about Hammerjacks in Baltimore. He's like, "You went to Hammerjacks?" Went to Hammerjacks. Did shows there. Kix was one of the big bands at Hammerjacks. They were like the gods of Hammerjacks in Baltimore, Maryland. And you know the song, that. I love music. I've always loved music. And anytime I'm feeling like things just aren't cool, I turn some stuff on. And it just takes me away. There's a few channels on X that just play like for people our age. And, some people say, oh, that person, oh, he's this or that. I don't care about that. I'm listening to the song. I was watching something with David Gilmour, Pink Floyd, and he was playing, Dark Side of the Moon and a couple different songs. And I'm like, I remember that. I remember that. What do you remember, man?
Ice, ice, baby.
Fun, having fun.
Absolutely.
When you came down here, we went to go play poker, and I never play onesie twosies. I always play tournaments, but I sat down and I lost, but it was fun. And
I had a blast.
For that hour or two of not having to worry about putting a show together and coming on and talking about insanity. Just watch SV take everybody's money at the table. So.
That was even more fun.
Yes, it was.
Well, here's a fun fact. Did you know there's one Blockbuster store still operating? It's the world's last remaining Blockbuster, located in Bend, Oregon. Wow. This independently owned franchise, I'll give the address, 211 Northeast Revere Avenue, has been the sole survivor since 2019 after all other locations worldwide closed. Wow. It rents DVDs, Blu-rays. They stock around 21,000 titles, sourcing new ones from places like Walmart and Target. They sell a lot of merchandise, and they function as a nostalgic tourist spot, museum-like attraction. So there's a fun fact for you.
Did you see some guy, he was an executive or something, and he bought the rights to Pizza Hut, and he's opening up all these Pizza Huts, and he's putting them right back into the same design and look as where they were before. I think he's opening up like 30 Pizza Huts. I'm like, okay. And when they interviewed him I saw him on CNBC, he's like, people remember this. I want to tap into people's memories, especially right now. And I was like, that you're going to make $1 million or millions with 21 stores.
Well, then meanwhile, you got In-N-Out Burger. There was a story today. It's funny because you always have to have the converse of the story.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but a lot of their cups, when you turn them, they have a Bible verse underneath them.
No, I didn't. We don't have them on East.
Yeah, that's more out
here.
West. Yeah. But anyway, the libs found out about it, and now they're protesting In-N-Out Burger.
How'd that work out with Chick-fil-A?
Yeah,
not too good. Chick-fil-A, you can't even get into them, and everybody knows they take Sundays off. Can you imagine being a chain that big across the entire country, and you're losing an entire day of revenue, and you're like, nope, just not worth it to us? I mean,
crazy.
talk about standing on principle. Like, no, we're not opening on Sundays, period. I can't even imagine the millions upon millions of dollars that they lose by not being open. All right, so
talk about crazy. Guess what just happened in Newark? The mayor of New York has officially lifted the curfew near the ICE facility just minutes before it was set to go into effect. So that was like 15 minutes ago. So rioters are now free to riot all night long again.
Why?
Well, she's a commie. She likes things going boom and kapow and.
Oh my gosh. Any good news about Spencer yet or not yet?
No, nothing yet on him. I'm going to be up late. I want to definitely track it. I mean, I'm pretty sure the results probably won't be finalized for some time, but maybe some of the decision desks will have some of the information come in and give you an idea. At least he's trending in a positive direction. Because again, like you said, he just needs to be the top two. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that will happen because Nitmi Raman, I think her popularity waned. She was just trying to go in as a dark horse to pull the votes away from people going for Pratt. So that's how they were using her.
God, have you been looking at the chat?
Oh yeah. Oh.
He took them all back. He took a lot of people back and like, I remember this, I remember that. Oh my gosh.
All right. Hey, guess what? Your mic just went out. Your mic is going in and out just now the first time in some time.
Check.
Now it's better.
Check.
5 by 5. 5 by 5.
All right. Let me go into the next section without much further ado. Okay, which button here?
Do you not want people to own private property?
Well, I'm definitely anti-capitalist, I would say. Yeah. So I would say that workers should own the means of production.
Right. Oh, so you're a communist?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
What is communism?
I haven't talked to a real life communist.
What's a communist?
Well,
you're the one who said you're a communist. You tell me. I love this girl's face. Like, what? How the hell can you be 25, 26 and give up on life? And this dovetails off of what we just talked about. Living life and having fun. And these young kids are completely bonkers.
You want the people to own the means of production.
Yeah,
you don't seem to believe in
the people
private
who create
property.
The people who create value, as in create the value of commodities, should own the actual value that they create from that process. Yes.
So my answer, if you want the people, everyone in this room and everyone in this country to have more, what I would want is that you would take less from them. So you tax everybody less. You remove regulation. You create the conditions for competition and capitalism so that more people will have more of their money. I want you, I assume you work. Do you work?
Yeah.
Do you pay taxes?
Yeah.
I want you to keep.
Sure you do. Sure you pay taxes. Oh, we know for a fact, just looking at you, you ain't paying real taxes. You might be paying that guy called FICA. But that's about it. He should have asked her, where do you work? How much do you make? What is it that you like about communism? Oh, we feel like the producers, the workers should, well, why don't y'all go start something yourself then? Because everything she just said is one of the problems with communism. They see a business that's successful. They see somebody who started a business, who may have had an office inside a garage, who then made some more money, who could then, go into an office building, and then they open a warehouse and they keep investing the entire time. So by the time she shows up, hey man, we should get a piece of this. Well, where were you 10 years ago? Where were you when I had to eat ramen and sleep on a cot? Oh, you don't know about that? That's because you've never started anything. You've never started a business and had to sacrifice and give to this business and incubate it until it got somewhere. I can tell you that happens with real estate. You just can't all of a sudden just start buying real estate. If nothing else, you have to use your mind. Then you got to use your math. Then you got to use your skills of understanding what is going to sell and what's not going to sell. Then you got to be able to do all kinds of estimation to make sure you can afford to do what you want to do. You just don't show up one day and get somebody hands you a check. There's no business that does that. There's no business where the people show up and everybody's making billions. If you look at some of the old pictures back when Jeff Bezos was working in a garage, and back then it was just a bookstore, and they kept building the business. And now it's like Jeff Bezos has got gazillions of dollars. We should take it over. Well, how are you going to do that, honey? If you don't know where it came from, how are you going to sustain it? Yeah, what part of the supply chain do you even know? Where do you get the stuff that Amazon sends over? How do you package it? How do you ship it? Well, the employees that do it now will do it. You heard that argument. These people are bat poop crazy.
More of your money. Right. I don't know what you do. I don't know how much you earn. Whatever it is you earn, I want you to have more of that money so that you can put that money back into the system.
The majority of wealth in the system is owned by 1% of the population. You understand that, right? And where does that wealth come from?
Where does the wealth come from? It comes from a long trail of R&D, dedication, late nights, away from family. It's 9:15, 9:20. I'm sitting here. Robin's out there. I would much rather be out there with her. She allowed me to do a show at night. These people don't know everything that has to go in to get success. I would have turned around on her and said, how do you think the people got to be the 1%? That's the part that they're not understanding. She's thinking, oh, you rode other people's backs.
1% of the population. Do you know how much percent they pay in taxes? That 1%?
Not nearly enough, because the majority of their wealth comes from.
It's 47%.
Right.
Hold on. So 1% of the population pay 47%. You accept that?
Okay.
Yeah. So what would be their fair share?
What percent of that?
What would be their fair share?
Is their actual wealth that they own? That again, majority of these lineages of power and ownership.
What would be their fair share? What would be their fair share?
Accumulation of.
What would be their fair share?
I would say that the fact that they own 1%. You're not.
Again, even down to her level, you can almost see her discombobulating. You ask that question to a liberal, what is the fair share? They got no answer. It doesn't exist. Nobody has told her because the people who she listens to, they don't know. What's fair share? We have to keep figuring it out. We don't know yet. Bernie doesn't know. Elizabeth Warren doesn't know. AOC doesn't know. So if there's no way she could know, they haven't told her yet. She can't think for herself. What's fair share? What they really mean is all of it. They're afraid to say it, but what they really mean is we want everything you have. We want you to live in the pod and eat the bugs.
47% in taxes.
Here's my problem. You're not letting me finish the point, so we can't get from point A to B. Do you understand that?
Okay, so
cool.
If you accept that 1%,
there's not going to be a fair share when their wealth is coming from the back ends of colonialism. So that's not going to work.
What the hell does that mean? There's never going to be a fair share when the wealth is coming from the back end of colonialism. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't have a musket. I wasn't running around the woods shooting redcoats. And I didn't own any slaves. In fact, it'd be just the opposite. I'm probably somewhere along the line, somebody probably was a slave. What do you do about people like us? What do you do about people like us who weren't involved in colonialism, yet somehow still find a way to make do? Their entire argument crumbles, and they get very, very, I don't even know what the word is. But you can see, coming off of Ice in his interview, there's no satisfaction. There's no happiness. They're being bred to be miserable effing people. I would love to sit down and say, what do you do for fun? What do you do? Do you turn off this communist thing and say to your friends, hey, listen, let's go out and dance? You don't even have to drink. You're going to go out and dance? No, I can't do that. Do you have a significant other, preferably a guy that you might want to hook up with in the future? No. Okay. What are you living your life for? And if you've ever talked to some people like this, you will see blank stares because they haven't been instructed as to what fun should be. I think part of the whole transformer and boys being girls, I think part of that reasoning is to stop people from procreating. Don't let them think that having a relationship is good. Have them all promote getting your junk whacked off, and that these people here are the ones you should just admire, and never feel the need to copulate. Imagine that life. Imagine what that life is, never feeling the need that you want to, come together with somebody and give it a shot. May not work out. You may break up, but they're not even trying anymore. I don't drink, but back in the day, I drank. And I don't know if you've seen some of the data. Nobody's drinking. They don't drink. They don't have fun. They don't do anything. Go to a concert. They're all our age. We're the only ones who go. Unless they go to Taylor Swift, but most of them are just rich kids because they can't afford the tickets. Your average barista doesn't have fun. So I want to show this to you. This was from, you guys ever hear of, what's his name? John Stossel. This is amazing.
Socialism. Socialism. Socialism is the way forward.
Socialism is popular. In recent years, more than a third of American adults said they view socialism positively. Why? Maybe because social media is filled with economically illiterate people saying things like,
None of those people were the kids you hung out with in school. None. It didn't happen. And now this is how they've been populated.
Socialism is working better than capitalism 93% of the time.
93% of the time? Where does she get that? Well, I asked Stossel TV producer Christine Tokarev to investigate.
She got it from this study, published in the Journal of Health Services 40 years ago. But its Marxist authors conveniently exclude high-income countries, like the US, Japan, Canada, in fact, all the biggest capitalist countries. They compare socialist countries to allegedly capitalist countries like these, some of which were at war. Based on that, she says,
we have all the data showing that socialism does work.
Madeline Pendleton is a TikTok star with more...
Oh, boy. A 40-year-old study, which doesn't include the United States and other huge capitalist countries. Wow. And this is the worst part. She's extremely popular.
And 1 million subscribers.
What do I like about communism?
She celebrates communism, too.
Mostly the increased life expectancy.
But there's no increased life expectancy. People live longest in capitalist places like Japan and South Korea. Even in the United States, where more people die young because we drive more. And so we have more car accidents. We eat more and get fat.
Is that mac and cheese on your hamburger? It is mac and cheese.
We shoot each other more often, and we take more dangerous drugs. Yet we still live longer than people in China. But socialism is also better, says Pendleton, because of
the 90 to 100% home ownership rates.
100%? That's just silly.
But the silliest part about it is the kids out there are listening to this crap. The kids are buying into this. This is what their influencers are telling them. Not their parents. They're influencers.
China, if you believe their statistics, does have almost 90% home ownership. But that only happened after China terminated socialist housing. Under socialism, just 20% of people owned homes. In socialist Venezuela, homeowners don't even own their homes.
Dozens of people squatting in this abandoned office tower in central Caracas.
Yet Pendleton claims
the commies want to steal your house from your landlord and give it straight to you.
Pendleton has plenty of company praising socialism on social media. This YouTuber with almost 2 million subscribers tells people why you should be a socialist.
The guaranteed right to healthcare, food, and shelter.
It's true, socialism promises free healthcare, food, and shelter. But that doesn't mean what people get is any good. Look at Cuba.
El sistema nacional de salud cubano está destruido.
It's a shame that these kids feel this way, and I wish I could talk to some of them. Why do you feel this way? Why have you given up on life? Why do you just want the government to be the one entity that, daddy government, feed me, take care of me, do whatever I need to do? Now, what's really interesting, and some of you guys may have picked up on it, this woman who's there with the purple hair and everything, who's got 2 million followers, she's probably making a good amount of money from her social media. The other guy whose video they're talking about, he has 2 million subscribers on YouTube. I can't even imagine how much money he's pocketing. So he's lying to everybody watching his videos. Hey man, I'm crushing it, and but I'm telling you, you need to go to socialism. So what happens with your YouTube channel and all that money that you're making from, from all those 2 million subscribers? Shh, don't tell the idiots.
Los hospitales abarrotados, la gente muriéndose en los pasillos.
This socialist TikToker with Karl Marx-like hair has 100,000 subscribers.
Capitalism is a political economy which prioritizes profits over people. The antidote to that political economy would be socialism, a political economy that prioritizes people over profits.
Socialist.
So, as we're sitting here, and you guys, she's making a point to tell you how many subscribers, how many followers these people have. You have to equate that to money. They're making boatloads of money to telling other people to stay poor, to look completely crazy on camera, to not comb your hair and put on blue stuff and nose rings and everything else, telling people socialism is the way while you're cashing checks. And these kids that are listening to this stuff are too stupid to realize what they're even looking at. Understand, if you're looking at somebody with 2 million subscribers, 1.5 million on TikTok, they're not just trying to afford the grand latte at Starbucks. They could open a Starbucks. They could literally go buy a franchise. That's the kind of money when you have millions of subscribers. That's the kind of thing that I don't know if the kids watching this don't understand they're being lied to.
Theory does. But again and again, what people get is misery.
You would be subjected to backbreaking labor, brutality, starvation,
countless millions of deaths, and the worst man-made famine in human history.
Yet a man calling himself spooky, scary socialist gets almost 2 million views saying,
Communism did work.
Hey, watch my stuff about how communism sucks while I'm making big, giant capitalist money. And they don't even realize it. They don't understand how they're being led around by that nose ring that they have in their face. While everybody else is there cashing checks. Yeah, these stupid people.
Essential services like full employment, rough income inequality.
How can these people be so deluded? I'm eager to hear what they'll say when John interviews them. They tell millions of people,
the central idea that unites all socialists is maximizing freedom, a more dignified life, and the democratization of power.
Democratization? Like in China? Here, there's just one party, and its leader made himself president for life. Every socialist economy has failed. Venezuela was once the richest country in South America. Now, there are food shortages.
More and more people reduce to eating from the rubbish.
Socialism just doesn't work.
It seems to work in Vietnam really great, actually.
So says this TikTok socialist. But what finally worked in Vietnam was free markets. Before Vietnam embraced capitalism, people went hungry. The country depended on handouts.
See, that would require you to know your history. While we're bombing Vietnam and they're shooting us and they're popping out of the rice paddies and doing all kinds of crazy things and torturing soldiers, at one point they said, all right, now what do we do? This thing is over. We got to make money. And so they never talk about that. Hey, how did Vietnam become a prosperous country? How did it happen? How come the Dominican Republic is making money, but Haiti, they're eating dirt cookies? It's pretty simple. Why is North Korea a vast wasteland and South Korea, they're killing it? It's very simple to look and realize over and over and over, it doesn't work. And the people telling you that it can, like Bernie Sanders, they've been saying it for 60 years. They're playing you.
Then Vietnam legalized capitalism and freed the private sector. The TikTokers make the same mistake about China.
Socialism worked in China.
China eradicated extreme poverty.
Wrong again.
Ignorance is what causes the problem.
When China banned capitalism, millions died.
Those who didn't get on with the leader of the production team or those who disobeyed his orders were starved to death.
It was only after
campaigns like the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution have killed tens of millions of people
that China's leaders reversed course.
Embracing capitalism and encouraging private business.
Only then did average incomes in China rise. But socialism's promoters still say, you don't need capitalism or profit.
Innovation can flourish even when people are not motivated by profit.
How? Tell me how that's possible. Innovation can flourish even by people who aren't motivated by profit. How do you get innovative if you can't afford to do anything innovative? There's nobody who sat around and said, I'm going to build a bit better mousetrap. And then they're like, okay, let's do it. Well, I can't afford to buy the stuff to make the better mousetrap. Innovation can't work without investment. Innovation can't work without capital. It's very simple. How many times have we talked about making sure you understand where the puck is going, and how many people in the chat say, I can't do it. I can't afford it. I need to figure out how to do it. So they're telling kids, you don't need any money. Innovation, you can keep innovating until you do what? How do you capitalize? Oops, can't say that. How do you capitalize on your innovation? You can't. In order to capitalize, you have to have capital.
The USSR gave the world the anthrax vaccine, artificial satellites, and one of the earliest mobile phones.
That's true, but do any of you have a socialist-made phone today? The West has just created so much more. The socialists say,
ownership should be collective.
No, no. Losers say that. Losers say everything should be collective because it means I don't have to get off my ass and do anything. We're all going to just share. I don't have to. You know, what movie was it? Robin took me to a movie where people got on a ship and then they just got fat because they didn't do anything. And they all just flew around in the sky and they all just keep getting fatter and fatter because nobody did anything. That's what they're talking about.
Every attempt, anywhere, at collective ownership has failed. In America, people tried that 200 years ago. In New Harmony, Indiana, private property was abolished. The result, as with similar attempts, was famine. No matter how many views these propagandists get, the fact is, socialism fails.
So what do these popular socialists say in response to these inconvenient facts? Sadly, I can't show you. We invited them to come here and make their points to you. Not one would.
Socialism stays winning.
The bottom line is that incentives matter. Nobody washes a rental car because most people don't care a lot about what belongs to everyone. It's just human nature. Capitalism isn't perfect, But if we really want a better future and freedom, capitalism, not socialism, is the way to get those things.
Very simple. Very simple. All right, that's what I got for you tonight. SV, what do you got for me? You're saying Trump's, he's going crazy. Oh, wow.
Here you go. We got a little more winning we'll play that winning mean.
Hold on. Let me break. Oh, sorry. I got rid of you. There you go. All right. So, this guy, Marty Jackley, he won, right?
Okay. Yep.
And then Mike Rounds in South Dakota, another endorsement. Chris McGowan in Iowa.
Ka-ching.
Zach Nunn in Iowa. I met him when we were up in Washington. U.S. Senator won her primary. Ashley Hinson. I don't know much about Ashley. And then he's endorsing a few more people as well. This is interesting. This is really
I was going to
interesting.
say, check this one out. This is very interesting.
All right. Congratulations to the Colombian presidential candidate, El Tigre, the Tiger, Abelardo de la Espriella, a smart, strong, and tough leader on his decisive victory in the first round of the Colombian presidential election. Abelardo fights tirelessly loves his great country and people like I do for the United States of America. As president, Abelardo would be tremendously successful in leading Colombia to grow the economy, create jobs, promote trade, stop illegal immigration, crack down on crime. It sounds like a lot like Bukele from El Salvador. The results of the election are very important to the future of Colombia and its relationship to the United States because of his tremendous accomplishments in life and his political support for me personally. It is my honor to give Abelardo my complete and total endorsement. El Tigre, Abelardo de la Espriella will not let the wonderful people... Andale. Okay, so now we're endorsing people in other countries.
Hey, let's put a cherry on top of this good news. So, breaking: Supreme Court 6-3 upholds Alabama redistricting, overturning the lower court blocked the new pro-Republican map. The 6R1D map will now take effect for the 2026 midterms, with one racially drawn blue seat being removed. Winning.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Yeah. People need to tell me how we're going to lose. I still don't get it. I mean, it's just like one smack after the other. This is what you were saying, 6-3. I wonder who the other three were. Let me. Can I guess? Sotomayor, Kagan, and DEI Jackson, right? Oh my goodness.
Probably.
That is crazy.
Oh, I love winning. I love prosperity. Oh, yes.
Oh man, they're screwed. They're absolutely screwed. I don't even know what they're gonna do at this point. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Just keeps coming.
Yes. The hits keep coming.
Well, sometime tonight, hopefully we'll find out about Spencer Pratt. I mean, so everybody pull for him hard. Hopefully he can pull it out and finish in the top two. So that's it for me. Let me just check and see what Trump is, if they released Wednesday's schedule, so I can tell you guys what time I would probably be going on. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. And okay, Wednesday's schedule is up, and nothing, nothing public.
Oh,
yeah. So that means we'll go. I'll be on at 4:00 tomorrow.
Oh.
He's signing executive orders at 3:00, but it's not going to be televised. So we'll have to.
I had some breaking news. It never ends. It just came in. So in a huge FAFO moment, CBS has just terminated 60 Minutes anchor Scott Pelley's contract, effective immediately. Pelley accused editor-in-chief Barry Weiss of murdering the show and got into a heated meeting. Producer fired back in a scathing letter and terminated him effective immediately.
That has been, I'll cover that tomorrow because that's been a really big story that not a lot of people have been looking at. That Barry Weiss or Barry Weiss, whatever how you pronounce her first name, she's gone in with gone in with a sledgehammer and she's breaking down 60 Minutes. I mean, just firing people left and right. And the media. Now, this is what's going to be funny. Oh, we didn't talk about that. Oh, yeah, we talked about it earlier, that the White House Correspondents' Dinner has been rebooked and everything. And they're going to hold it they're holding it at the Waldorf Astoria, as you mentioned earlier. But I didn't know.
Trump's property.
It's Trump's property.
See, that's just it. Cue the meltdowns. Like, oh my gosh, he's going to make money. He's making money off the food and the plates.
Oh my gosh, at his property. Oh, yeah, unbelievable. All right, SV, thank you for a long day.
Have a great night, Barry.
Thank you very much. Wow. At the Waldorf Astoria. That's insane. Absolutely insane. And he said he is going to go. All right, make it. The Democrats are trying to pick the most deranged person possible for the to have a state seat anywhere. Oh, man. Yes. G. Fisher, thank you. You're a master relief from fake news. Congrats in advance on the Barry SV 24/7 News Network. I can't do it. I got a wife. JLA, Platner's SS tattoo equals Peckerwoods. Look that term up. I think that is the direction that the conversation should take. All right, I'll look it up. Macon again, thanks for keeping us informed. I've been catching you on replay, busy with my daughter and her new house. She's learning to mow. There's something new. Congratulations. AI Al Phelps, congratulations. Pekoski, I thought you were, I'm happy you're here. Now, don't go anywhere. Ashley and I have looked everywhere for your email. Not your email, your address. Can you send an email tonight so that Ashley can get your address, because it came back. As you saw, SV's got his hat on. Yours came back for some reason, so I don't know if we had the wrong address. SV, are you still here? Yeah. If you can hit up Pekovsky and see if you can get his mailing address, please, because we're trying to get it to him, and he's been so patient. So could you please
actually not in the chat right
that?
now. I just tried to
Sorry about that. All right, so get a hold of SB or Beth or whoever's here, and let's get your mailing address. Says, I'm stopping working twice a day. I kind of love the old setup, twice a day. Okay. Wizard, I used AI to make my account picture of the hillbilly wizard. Check it out. Nice. I can't. I don't think it'll let me click on it. Chiosop, no fun allowed in communism. Nope. Nicholas, Barry, I remember going out and having fun. Oh yeah, you were at Hammerjacks, a different place and time. Thanks for this show and a positive energy. You know, I didn't even know that about Vanilla Ice. I didn't know he was that kind of a guy. I mean, the guy just exudes happiness. Chiosop, they managed to get us to be at each other's throats. Every once in a while, we have to stop and reflect on what matters and enjoy life. Absolutely. Chiosop, again, commies want everything after it's been created. Yeah, it's easy then. We'll just take it from you. Ronaldo, Barry, the Dems want more protesters to expire to use it in November. Good luck with that. Neo, hello. Thank you, Barry. Among the maddest, great memories of music. It unites the world. Love it. Let's have fun for America's celebration. Absolutely. Gary, great show as always. Mr. Barry, I want a fanfare cap on January 19th. Do me his favor. SB is collecting mailing addresses. Go ahead and make sure he's got yours as well. Because now, I mean, like you see, he's got his on, so we're getting them out. Thank you. Chiosop, much of communism is based on jealousy. They want what you have, but they don't want to work for it. They only see the result, not the struggle. Nope, they don't understand it. Tania, Barry, I wonder if Trump quietly supports Pratt, but doesn't want to announce it. I heard something that SV checked on it earlier. He said that he did announce his support for Spencer Pratt earlier, like May 20th. Pekoski, groove is in the heart. Who sang that? You're going to make me think. I'm going to have to go look it up. Grooves in the heart. I remember the song now. I understand. Wizard of Ozarks. Demonic Rats. Utopia is a prison. Free food, clothing, housing, security, guaranteed job, and you'll never own anything. And Cheers Up, Animal Farm, one of the first books, told us everything about this. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on a evening show. And you guys are great for being here the whole time. I will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Yes, it was D-Light. Now I remember Grooves in the Heart. Yeah, that was a good song. That was a very good song.